Like, how are you doing today? Like right now in this moment, how are you?
I am doing great. I just had a mammogram this morning, being responsible about my health. I know you weren't expecting that answer, and everything is okay. So that was on my checklist this morning. And other than that, I'm happy to be where I am in this moment, which is talking to you.
Awesome. Look, thank you for that. And also health as well. So I am actually happy that you said that. So
It's true. I absolutely agree.
yes. So let's dive right in. Can you tell me more about how your partnership with Off came to be?
Well, uh, last summer, my son, who's now 2, was bit by a mosquito, and I put him down for his nap. He woke up from his nap. His face had swollen up. I had no idea what was going on. As you can imagine, terrified. I called his pediatrician. What's going on? We took him in. And as it turns out, he has a severe allergy to mosquitoes. And I thought, well, okay, what am I going to do? And he said, go get an insect repellent. I went into the drugstore and I found the Off Family Care, started using that on my son. And it's just been a game changer for us. He celebrated his with a friend. It was someone else's birthday, but he went out for his first birthday party in Central Park. And there I was, peace of mind, allowing him to enjoy himself, running around like a 2-year-old should, and not worry about him having an allergic reaction. So that's a part of how really this became personal for me. I love being outside. I'm from a small town in Texas. I have a garden here in the city. The minute it's above, I can't lie, above 70, because I'm a Texas girl. I can't get it out with 60s. But the minute it's above 70, I am out and about. I love it. And I want my son to be able to enjoy the outdoors in the same way that I do. So that's how it came to be. And as it turns out, I have a birthday coming up in September. I turned 51. And on my bucket list was glamping. And I said to my husband, okay, I want to go glamping. He's not told me where, but it's in Texas. And I said, you're going to have to go onto the AccuWeather SC Johnson. It's a pest index where you put in where you're going, just like you would check the weather. And it tells you all the insects that are in the area and the pests in the area. So I've already warned him that I'm not trying to come back to my show all eaten up by mosquitoes. So he's got to check that too. So for both reasons, this has been personal for me.
For sure. That was actually my next question. I wanted to talk more about your glamping trip. So how do you prep these days for family travel?
It's gotten better. When I first started traveling with my son, I checked a suitcase that only contained diapers, as if you can't buy diapers wherever you're going. I was so paranoid and so worried that I paid, because after a certain number of bags, you got to pay. I paid to have diapers travel with me. So I've streamlined significantly. Clearly during the lockdown, we didn't travel, but we had our first family trip once I was vaccinated and through the 10 days, and we went away, and I was surprised. I love Googling things and finding ways to streamline. So I'm pretty efficient at it now, but no, it was a bumpy start. Now I'm down to half a bag of diapers, but it's been getting better and better. And with a child, which I did not know because it's my first child, it gets easier. You need fewer and fewer things. And so it's worked out. But we're pretty good travelers.
For sure. And you know what, even, being a mom, a wife, a career woman, the phrase work-life balance is different for everyone. But for you personally, what does work-life balance mean for you?
Actually, I'll be honest, when I hear that phrase, have you ever seen the parents on Charlie Brown and the Peanuts? It's like walk, 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 because it doesn't exist for me. Mm-hmm. I don't know what that looks like and what that means, because I think it's like the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. Does that really exist? Is there a balance? I do believe, though, day to day, you win some, you lose some. There are days that I'm able to carve out that time, and I look at that day and I think, wow, I did the show. I came home. I was able to spend time with my son, quality time with my son, make dinner, have a glass of wine with my husband, and it feels good. And then there are other days I've left my home when my son is asleep. I return. He's already back asleep, and I've missed the entire day. And I've gone in the bathroom and cried, thinking I didn't see him all day long. Is this parenthood? Is this, am I doing right by him? So for me, it's a day-to-day battle. And the cost obviously is a high one, and it's a responsibility. But I try to each and every day get it right. And sometimes that's the deposit in the bank, that you're trying to get it right. And I'm sure, when he's 15, he might say, Mom, you were late to my soccer game because your taping went on. But I'm hoping that I put enough of the deposits of positivity in the bank that he knows that he's a present mom and that she tried her best and that I was realistic about the balance.
For sure. Just taking it day by day and extending yourself grace and understanding that some days will be better than others. And some, take the good with the bad. And what does unconditional self-love look like for you on a daily basis?
I don't know, because I don't know if I always love myself unconditionally. I mean, I look sometimes at my body and I say, wait, who stole my 25-year-old body, right? Or I, see someone who is 35 and I think, okay, they have exceeded all expectations of life and I'm still doing this, even though my life is great, right? I beat myself up like anyone else, but then there are days where, I look at this fall, my show starts its third season, September 6th. My first novel, which I'm so proud of, is available October 26th. And I think to myself, wait, I did that, right? And I love me, I go through that where I can't believe a show that people told me I would never be able to do, that I would never be able to accomplish, is now in its third season. A novel, a mystery novel. Many folks thought that I would write a beauty book or a memoir. And I've written a novel, a crime series based on a character that I formed in my mind and created this story. And people are stunned to hear, wow, Tamron Hall wrote a novel while having a toddler in the pandemic. And I think, yes, I did that. I love me, right? So it goes back and forth. But there are days that I always liked me. I don't know if I've always loved me. And it's a daily practice to try to make sure that I do.
Wow. Thank you for your transparency and congratulations on the book. I'm excited for that. You said October.
Oh, you got to get it. It's October. It's her character. Her name is Jordan Manning. She's a reporter in Chicago, and she's awakened to the news of a young Black girl missing in a series of disappearances of young Black girls that seem to be ignored by the media, and in pursuit of the truth and in pursuit of calling out truth to power, she follows this case, and I'm excited to bring this story.
Absolutely. And what lessons have you learned about yourself from the pandemic to help you power through each day? Or at least try?
I have learned, I'm a Virgo. I'm not a control freak, although everyone in my life probably would dispute that. I do like organization. I thrive in structure and organization. And I think over the past 14 months, I realized that that's not the case, right? Because we had no control over so much and almost everything. Decisions were being made for us where you could eat. Did you have to wear the mask? What do you know? And all things to keep us safe. But we really had no control. We had to depend on the CDC and the information being provided because this was a novel virus. And I now recognize that you don't need all of that control. And even if you think you need it, at some point, you don't have it. I had no control over when my son decided that at midnight I would go into labor, even though I had mapped it all out. We had no control over the fact that this would invade all of our lives globally. And for me, it was a strong reminder that there are unknown variables surrounding all of us each and every day. And you can deal with the things you know, but recognize there is always an unknown variable. It perhaps won't be another pandemic, but it will be the loss of a job, a relationship that you think is going great and they think it's not going great, right? Health. There's so many other things that are unknown variables that are lurking and they're coming for us. So here's the deal. Enjoy the things you know much more, because bad things are going to happen. And trust me, you don't have to look for them. They're going to happen, the unknown variable. But if you can control your desire to control everything, and that's a double control there, I think you can find some peace. And that's what I have found. I have found that I can't manage the unknown variables, but I can manage the joy of the moments that I have in front of me.
Mm, yes. Look, you're giving us a word. And this is actually my last question. What do you believe are the most common misperceptions that women sometimes allow to hold them back in pursuit of being the best versions of themselves?
I think we believe we have to be perfect, or that there is a perfect formula. But at the same time, we all say, oh, no one's perfect. I'm not trying to be perfect. And then deep down inside, you are, right? And for me, and that's physical, that is, how we live our lives, how we present ourselves, everything. We constantly say, nobody's perfect. I'm not trying to be perfect. And then the middle of the night, when you start telling yourself about yourself, you recognize that you are in search some days of this thing that we know it doesn't even exist. So for me, I think just being honest with the person in the mirror and recognizing that, yes, we do fall for the tropes as well. We fall for, you can have it all. We fall for there is a work-life balance. We fall for okay, maybe there is a way to be perfect at work or perfect in this relationship. And I think that that's a misperception. I'm so much of I'm not a laissez-faire, but I'm certainly at 51 embracing more than ever. I know what I know, and I'm comfortable with the things I don't know. That doesn't mean I'm not curious and explore and learning, but I don't need to know every single thing or have an answer rather to every single thing. That's a better way to say it. I don't need an answer to it. That doesn't mean I'm curious, but I don't need to button up everything to make it perfect.
Yeah. Okay. Look, well, I'm 35. My birthday is actually in 2 weeks. I'll be 36. So I feel like, yes, thank you. I feel like you gave me a lot of words of wisdom to live by.
It goes so fast. Let me tell you, 37 to 47 was like that. That was the quickest 10 years of my life, easily.
Yeah, I feel like my late 20s to now, I'm like, when did I turn 36? Like, when did I
It's going to go even, you will wake up and say, wait, how did this happen? Like, they were such critical years of my life, in my career, in relationships, and it will go 37, and not in a scary way, but I'll tell you, 37 to 47, it will go so fast. I tell a lot of the young women that I mentor, I used to say, oh, I'm going to travel to such and such one day today. I look up, I'm 50. I'm like, I got like 30 things left. I didn't even, you have so much. So I stopped going to the same place. I'm like, I'm not going back to that same resort, or I'm not going back to that. As much as I love Italy, I have to go somewhere else. I can't go to Rome again. Or I push myself not to do the same things because it goes so fast for me anyway. It did in an exciting, wonderful, beautiful way, but it went fast.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I just also wanted to say thank you. You probably don't remember, but I remember I cold emailed you a few years ago and told you that I wanted to pivot my journalism from being behind the keyboard and actually in front of the camera. And I acted in one of reenactment on the crime series, Deadline Crime Series.
Yes, I remember.
Yes, you were at the Today Show. I reached out to you, didn't expect anything, and you wrote me back and was like, absolutely. When can you talk Thursday? I was like, oh my gosh. Thank you for that moment. Yes.
Of
you gave me advice and everything.
That is amazing. Okay, like that's great. Okay, now I really am old. Look at that.
Yes.
Well, I'm so proud of you. Thank you for spending time with me today, and congratulations on just ride it till the wheels run off, because you just got great things to come, and it goes fast.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And I have great women like you to look up to.
Oh, well, I'm so honored. That's such a blessing. I'm so honored. Thank you.